Walk me through what it's going to be like for you Saturday. I mean, you've called Michigan-Ohio State games before, but you have not called them where both are undefeated. This is your first in that foray, because I'd imagine you were not in the booth in 2006 for that one. So what's it going to be like for you?
Okay, I'll travel tomorrow, which is Thursday. Mm-hmm. And my lady lives in Columbus, so I'll have Thanksgiving dinner at about midnight. Okay. Which is important. So then Friday we get up.
Oh, is it midnight? You having midnight?
Yeah, because I'm not leaving here until
I got it.
You know, and by the time I get there, get my bags out of the airport.
Okay. So a midnight Thanksgiving meal. Very good.
So I'll have that. Friday we get up. I'll do a couple of radio interviews. Mm-hmm. I got to talk to Cleveland. My man Riz. You know Riz? Cleveland? Yeah. Okay. But at his ESPN station. But then we go see Ryan Day and the Buckeyes at noon over at their facility, and they're really nice because they give us lunch and we get a chance to sit down. Mm-hmm.
And you don't wear blue, right? You know that clearly.
I don't ever wear blue.
Okay, very good. Okay, all right.
And we sit down with Ryan. We talked to Jim yesterday, Jim Harbaugh.
How'd he sound?
He's a quirky dude. I mean, I really like him. You know, he's a quirky dude. He's a smart guy. He can be really funny.
Yeah.
Once he takes you into his fold, he's a really good guy. The two of us have a really great relationship. I like him a lot, even though he can be a goofball. But I remember asking him not too long ago, I said, Coach, how many concussions did you have as a player? He says, I don't remember. So he's had a lot of concussions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
So is Corum going to play, do you think?
I don't think so.
Oh, my God.
That's what I read. I mean, and I didn't get this from Harbaugh. I read it. Right. One of the players kind of dropped that.
As it currently sounds right now.
That's what it said.
Okay, but you didn't get that sense from Harbaugh?
He wouldn't give us anything. He wouldn't give us anything on injuries.
Okay.
He was like, whoever's going to play is going to play, and whoever doesn't play, the guy behind him has to step up. I mean, but Ohio State's hurt too, you know?
Sure. Okay. So you spoke to Jim, and so you're going to see Ryan Day in Columbus.
On Friday.
Okay. And then what game day, what's that like? Like, you got a suit picked out already?
Got a suit picked out.
Okay. Good.
No neutral colors.
Got it.
Because you get...
Oh, yeah.
I get killed for that. And not even thinking about it. I'm just pulling out something that's clean. That's why I was late today because... That's why I was late today, Rich, because, man, I was in Cambridge, then I went to... Where was it? Then I flew out here to L.A., did the game.
Yes.
Stayed at the hotel out there in Pasadena, and I live here in Los Angeles, so I needed to wash my clothes. So I'm late. I'm sitting there washing clothes.
Well, you look great.
Well, thank you. I'm, dressed to impress when I'm with a superstar.
No, stop.
Going coast to coast.
So Saturday, you got the game picked out, and then so when it's time for the broadcast, I mean, this game's going to do a huge number. It does every year, and just the sense of it. I mean, what's that like?
I got Joel Klatt.
He's awesome.
So I don't have to. I'm like the guy that sits in the back of the class that's waiting to go to football practice, and you sit next to Joel Klatt, and you make him have one cheek on and one cheek off on his seat, so he'll drop that right shoulder so you can see everything's on his paper. That was me. I was that kid. Just help me stay eligible.
I feel that way every draft when I was doing it with Mayock, and now I'm doing it with Daniel.
I work with Mike Mayock for years.
Sure. And Daniel Jeremiah and Joel Klatt does our Friday night broadcast as well. When those guys, like, if you ever saw the movie The Sting, you ever saw that where they're ready
Robert Redford,
and Paul Newman, and then where the guy who Paul Newman is hired to look after Robert Redford's character walks in on the day of The Sting, and he sees him like, oh, if I'm seeing you, there's a problem. And then Robert Redford finally walks in, and
everybody's okay.
That's the way I felt whenever somebody like Klatt or Jeremiah show up.
That's right. So I got Joel. And what I try to do is when I first started broadcasting, we remember Don Maggott and Associates.
Of course, I sent a tape to them as a headhunter.
Me too.
Years ago.
So they would come in and coach us, which I think is just wonderful. And I think that's something that's lost in broadcasting right now. Actually having somebody that can teach you, because we teach ourselves pretty much once we become pros. And they used to always say low and slow. Start low and start slow so you can build an arc. And then once I studied, when I studied with Marty Glickman when I was a young broadcaster, the legendary Marty Glickman.
Very much so. I mean, New York City fans definitely know who he is. For sure.
So Marty used to be the
Marv's
voice.
guy. Wasn't that Marv's guy we emulated after?
Exactly. When he was an intern.
Yes, right.
At NYU. So Marty used to always say, son, the game is in front of you, not on all that paperwork you got on your desk. So I literally just try to watch the game. I just want to watch the game and see what's happening in the game. And that will determine, what kind of notes I use or what kind of stories I tell. But I want to make sure that as a point guard, I keep Joel's hands full early. I make sure that, I always say to him, all right, big fella, I want 35 points, 25 rebounds coming from you. A couple block shots as well in this game. And so I'm going to keep your hands full, so don't drop the ball. And I just want to feed him, get comfortable. And then when it gets good, be ready to go. And he understands, okay, this is Gus's time. Let me, slow my roll a little bit and let him get in where he has to get in.
Which is the action and then...
Which is the action, which is the excitement, which is the emotion, which is the ebbs and flows of it, which is the storytelling of it. I look for ways to bring people in. Like, for example, Dorian Thompson-Robinson went down in that game. And, after the game, I just think about it all night. I think about it all night on Saturday.
The broadcast.
Yeah, all day on Sunday. And I finally start really thinking about the next game on Monday when I start watching tape. But Dorian Thompson-Robinson goes down. This game is scintillating. You got two incredible quarterbacks. You got two black quarterbacks playing for two incredible franchises, USC, UCLA, at the legendary Rose Bowl. The game is close. The star quarterback for UCLA goes down, and I sometimes, attaboy myself, because in that moment I said, come on, man, you got to get up. Dorian. And sometimes I even go first person. Like, we're talking to him. Dorian, get up. Get up, man. We need you. You can't not finish this game. So I like to work on those nuances of my broadcasting game now. Not so much worried about the mechanics, because after 30 years, that's part of it. I know it now. I could call the national championship game if you gave me two rosters in 30 minutes, if I had to. That's kind of how, you got to have your confidence.
I know.
For sure.
I know.
You can't be a chump when you get up there and that red light comes on. Because that red light can chump you. You know how it is, Rich.
I do. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.